Today we're going to talk about grief, celebrity deaths, and the importance of telling people exactly how you feel about them while you can. So this past week, James Earl Jones died. Great actor, best known for Darth Vader. Personally, I also loved him as Thulsa Doom in the Conan the Barbarian movies, Field of Dreams, countless Broadway performances. Great actor, and he overcame so much and was an inspiration to a lot of people just for the hardships he endured, what he bounced back from, and also overcoming a stutter. And you go from having a stutter to being one of the greatest and most recognized voices of your generation and the next generation, probably more to come. So I'll admit I felt a little sad when I heard he passed. Now I know 93 is a good run, and it's nice to know that he got his flowers and accolades while he was still here. Not everybody gets that. But you have to acknowledge that sometimes it feels weird to feel sad over a celebrity's passing. It's not like you ever really knew them. Maybe you met them in person once or twice. And it is a very different type of grief from the passing of a loved one, a family member, a friend. That's a very deep and profound grief, and no matter how much time passes, you will still feel that loss, because it's losing a person that you shared memories with, and knowing that you can't make memories in the future again with that person. So celebrity deaths are different. It's not like you've ever met them before, and yet you still feel a little twinge of sadness and emptiness. Now there's some where it's like you read about somebody's passing in the paper and you go, oh man, that's sad, that's a bummer, and you go on about your day, and that's normal too. We cannot be an overwhelming font of empathy at all times of the day. Otherwise we would just sit and crumble in the corner. And you can acknowledge this was a human, this was a person who put a lot of good into the world and had families and other people who love them, but you do move on. And then there's some celebrity deaths that hit you harder than others, and it's a weird and jarring feeling. So if you're sad about a celebrity who's passed, and if it's a more widely known celebrity, a lot of people get it. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sad too. Or if it's a less popular celebrity, sometimes people just look at you because they don't understand who that person was and who that person was to you. And they're like, okay, bitch, go outside and touch some grass. That's great.
Jesus, get a grip. Go outside, touch some grass.
I'm touching grass, Sammy. Look. Touching grass. Am I doing it right?
No, touch the grass a little harder. Go on.
Touching grass. Touching grass longer. Becoming one with nature. Touching grass. Touching the earth. Yes. Touch the grass. That's a break. We don't touch it, we touch just the grass.
Touch the grass some more. You have not sufficiently touched grass. Go touch more grass.
We touch grass sufficiently. Have I touched the grass sufficiently, Sammy?
Okay, good enough. Bring it in. Come on in.
But at the end of the day, that person meant something to you. I think the reason why sometimes we get really upset about celebrity deaths, even though we never met them, it's because their work meant something to you. And it formed a part of the fabric of who you are. It's you acknowledging that they gave a part of themselves and their life experiences to either a role they played, a story they wrote, a movie they directed, a song they played, or how they played a song. It spoke to your soul. And when that happens, you feel sad that this person is gone. And it's not anywhere near the loss of a parent or a loved one. Back to that shared memory concept, that person did something for you, even though you never met them. Whatever it was about their experiences, about their life, and how they put that into their art, it helped you in a key moment and helped propel you forward. And while everything that they did still lives on, there are no more opportunities to create something new. Not to say that what they had done in the past can't help somebody down the line, but there's never going to be an opportunity for them to create something new and to experience that. And that's a sad feeling, especially if they've created something that has been so meaningful and formed a big part of who you are. It's the idea of connection, that somehow, in some weird way, without ever having met someone, you can connect and you can make a positive ripple in the lives of others. So no, it's not silly to find yourself really sad about a celebrity passing. Now, granted, we can acknowledge it is a first world problem. Not everybody all over the world has the luxury of feeling sad about their favorite celebrity passing. In other places, life is really fucking hard. And you don't even have the luxury of being able to grieve the death of a parent or your neighbor or anybody else, because if you do, and if you stop for a moment, death might come for you too. So let's all take a moment to acknowledge that not everybody gets that luxury either, to have a sad. That said, it is perfectly normal to be sad if a celebrity dies. There's nothing wrong with it. You're human. It's not a weird thing. You're not a bad person for feeling sad and not even understanding why you feel sad. Look, it's not like you're rolling up to their funeral with their actual friends and family and people who knew them and flinging yourself on the casket going, why? Because trust me, every family's got one of those, and you don't need any more than one or two casket flingers. They put on a hell of a show, enough for everybody. If you're really lucky, sometimes there's somebody at the funeral who decides to show you their entire tattooed back piece, or the person who decides to bring their peacemaker and show it to everybody just in case something breaks out. Yeah, at a funeral. In the grand scheme of things, you being sad at home about a celebrity passing isn't a weird thing. I think it's normal. I think it's healthy to acknowledge that there's a void in the world that this person once filled. That said, it underscores the importance of telling people while they're here how much you appreciate them, because there's a lot of negativity in the world. Everybody is struggling and dealing with something. And sometimes it's nice to hear, hey, I'm proud of you, or I think you did a great job, or keep going. We're not necessarily as humans hardwired to give praise, which is a shame. We're so quick to give into those negative impulses without really saying something positive to somebody too, with the same knee-jerk reaction. It doesn't hurt to drop a note of encouragement to anybody, whether that's your next door neighbor who did a kick-ass job mowing his lawn. Maybe he needs to hear that. Maybe he's having a shit day and his lawn is the one thing that brings him joy. It doesn't hurt in a sea of negativity where everybody has some shit to talk about somebody to say something nice. Whether it's someone who's inspired you, someone you've actually shared memories with, or someone who makes you smile every day. It's really important to acknowledge that and tell them. If you're lucky enough to still have your mom or dad with you, the same way every kid needs to hear that their parent is proud of them, a lot of parents also need to hear, hey, mom, dad, I'm proud of you. I think you're doing an awesome job. They need to hear how proud you are of them too. It's not just the celebrities and dropping a line about, I loved what you did in this movie. That's nice. It is. Because for every person who says something nice, there's a couple others who are like, you fucking suck. Granted, I think everybody needs to develop a thicker skin, but it's also nice to know when people appreciate what you do. And that goes for everyday people around you. And sometimes it can be scary to put those feelings out there. It's much easier to tell somebody, yeah, you suck, or hop on somebody's ass the minute they do something wrong. We love a good cancel culture, don't we? But we're never really there to say to somebody, I think you're doing a great job. So tell somebody if you see somebody doing something awesome, even if it seems small, because all of that adds up. So say it. Life is too short to take all of that to the grave. And I'm going to end this on, not with my words, but with the words of the great James Earl Jones. One of the hardest things in life is having words in your heart that you can't utter. And while James Earl Jones meant this in terms of him being mute as the result of a trauma and then eventually stuttering, it also speaks to how sometimes we choke things up inside, We keep everything bottled up. We're afraid we might make somebody uncomfortable if we say something positive, or we might be perceived as weak if we say something kind. And that can also hurt just as much as bottling up the anger. My mother was one of those people who actually got an ulcer from not yelling at people. So there you go. Nothing ever gets accomplished by keeping it in. Whether you have a talent or a gift of your own, share it. Whether you have just kind words to say to somebody, put that out there. Don't keep it bottled up. Put it out there into the universe. All right, that's enough for today. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, please like, please leave a comment. Leave a nice comment. Roast me. I'll leave some links in the description below to some of my favorite clips of James Earl Jones. Thank you for tuning in.